Okay, Daniel chapter 2, verse 41. I'm gonna begin this at that part. And whereas thou sawest the pea and toes, part of pottery clay. Let me start this over. I want to make sure I get this right. And whereas thou sawest the pea and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it also of the iron, the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the pea were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be part strong and partly broken. Now, what God called, where He broke these down in sections, but He called them kingdoms. He used the formula of kingdom, letting you know that they was going to be the ruler over the earth. All these united together is going to be ruler over the world in World War III. That's what he was telling us. But it starts off with head of gold, which was the United States of America invading Afghanistan and Iraq, which was the Red Horse. And but this in the United Nations was the supported nation was going to help accomplish this feat. So, but the initiating part was going to be the head of gold, because in the next chapter I'll show you how this came to pass, and he will tell you this because I'm going to stay with this part where Jesus spoke concerning Daniel to start to finish with Jesus, the one author, telling you what's going to be. Now, the brass, I said, was the military general. He called the head of gold the first kingdom. That means he was the initiator. And so President George W. Bush was the one that initiated World War III, because he alleged that the man had weapons of mass destruction. He was the one went after them after knock down the World Trade Center building, as they wouldn't allow them nations to buy and sell their goods. So he was out of it. So he was the first kingdom. This means he was the one who initiated World War III, which was President George W. Bush. That's what I said. Now, the second kingdom would come in there. He told you how, in a sequence, which would happen. The United Nations would come, but what they did was they lost trust in the head of gold when President George W. Bush was there. This head by the civil. So since Barack Obama is in there now, they have gained favor in the head of gold, and they will think that they're doing the right thing if Barack Obama say they'll help Barack Obama. The United Nations would help Barack Obama because he's different than President George W. Bush. So when they do this here, they're going to order the top brass here, which is the military general, which is the third kingdom speaking of in that. He's going to intend order his military fighting forces, which is 10 of them, out of the 7 United Nations. This is where you get your 7 all the way through the Bible, 7, and you get your 3. The 3s is the other side, one side, the sickness of God, but the 7s come from the days that God made the earth. He was going to use the 7 nations to destroy it in the end. He completed his work in the 7 days, which began at the first beginning of the Bible, but he's going to get 7 of these worst, sinister-minded nations to unite together, and they was going to destroy the works that God had created with his own hands. This is what they're going to utterly empty this earth. This is what he's telling you. The 7 which came, because of all the transgression, he's going to use the 7 wicked nations to do it. But these are the United Nations, 6 and 7, which is the fourth nation. Now, as he ordered the military fighting force, which is made of iron and which is part clay, the clay is what the flesh is made out of. Now, verse 23. And whereas thou sawest and mix with marly clay. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of man, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. We know that. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other men, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Okay, it tells you in these days, during the reign of World War III, during the time this prophet comes, Jesus will return back to the earth. He's telling you that. Jesus spoke of these things before he went to the cross in St. Matthew chapter 24, 15, 20, 21, 51. He told you that. He told you about when you see these things, let him to see understand the prophet was going to come back here and he was going to reveal these things to you, speak concerning these matters, because Daniel had already spoke, said we don't get these things by the knowledge and wisdom we have for ourselves. We don't. We have to realize on what God speaks to us and Jesus revealed to us. And when he speaks to us, then only thing we can speak is that what he tells us. And he gives us wisdom and understanding if we sit and listen to him. These are not caused by any knowledge that I have more than any man, but it came from God, came from Jesus Christ, revealing these things unto me. This is where we were here. And when they take control and win World War III, then Jesus is going to come and defeat them. That's what it's telling you right here. And I will get to that part in a minute. Now, but in other words, it said, for as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out with thy hand, verse 45, chapter 2, then the mountain with thy hand, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, and the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. It is true, because I just showed you that. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an oblations and sweet odors unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth, it is that your God is a God of gods, and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets. Seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and the chiefs of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king. Listen to this part. And he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gates of the king. Now, you have to remember these names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And what I want you to do is remember the name of these three before they became named this. But I'm going to take and put up another chart, because it's going to be something going to happen to these three men, which is another part of this. So gold will come from gold. They're going to tell you who the ruler of these things. And I'm going to take and put this in the next chart up here and change this, because I got it already. But this is the first part here. But I got this, and then I'll come back to this. But I'm going to take this down momentarily to show you what